What is up, everybody? Tyler Duffy here. Day 2, Episode 2, Duffy Sports Network. How are ya? We're back. We're back. We're back. Day 1, no views. It's all good, baby. All good. Because this is a grind. Longevity. Got a quote for you that I heard yesterday. Ready for this? Just because it has taken time does not mean that it is not happening. It is happening. It's just taking longer than you wanted to. If you do not stop, you cannot lose. Boom. Came across that quote yesterday, and that's what we're all about here on this YouTube channel, baby. I'm not stopping. I'm going to keep grinding. Got my notes here in the breakdown of the show. Didn't have that yesterday. Didn't have any notes, so already stepping up my game a little bit from the episode 1. So we'll see how this goes. So topics of discussion today in episode 2. NFL playoffs, NFL MVP battle. We're going to get into a little dabble. Tua and Kyler making some news out there. And college basketball, NCAA. We got some top 25 matchups going on tonight. So we won't break them down game by game. But, just touch up on them a little bit. We got the big one, the premier one, Duke versus Louisville, 6 versus number 20. So should be a great matchup. Duke on the road. Struggled this past weekend on the road against Florida State. A team that's not very good but can score the ball. So we'll see what happens there. But anyways, first things first. NFL playoff breakdown, baby. And you know where I'm going. Jumping right into my squad. New England Patriots versus that Los Angeles Chargers. Sunday Night Football, baby. Sunday Night Football. The NFL put this on Sunday night for a reason, because it's going to be the best game of the weekend. It's going to be the closest. I think these two teams match up very evenly. And we'll see how it goes. Again, a lot of people are doubting the Patriots, kind of calling them frauds. They're inexperienced. At least their players are inexperienced in the playoffs. Vrabel's been there before. Vrabel's made an AFC championship. Vrabel's taken out the monster in Tom Brady. He took out Joe Flacco and that awesome Baltimore Ravens defense. So, he's got some experience there. He's a gamer, man. He's great. And I'm pumped. I think the coaching matchup is huge. It's a push. I think Jim Harbaugh is an awesome coach. I love him. Love his energy. Love that he's a QB whisperer. Gonna be a tight game. Chargers on defense, they're pretty good, man. They're pretty good. Overall, they got the 9th scoring defense, giving up 20 points per game. 5th fewest passing yards in the league. 9th fewest passing yards attempt at 5.6. Which is, I think, going to play a key factor. Drake May likes to move the ball downfield. And the Patriots wide receivers don't get a lot of separation. So if LA can bottle that up and keep them from throwing bombs, and then just not let any explosive plays out of the running game, and let's face it, that's really Travion, because Ramondre is really not a boom guy. He'll just keep pounding you and pounding you and pounding you over and over again. So they could have a great chance to win this game. I mean, the one thing that's going to flaunt them is their offense, their offensive line. It's a problem. Herbert's the most pressured quarterback in the NFL according to Next Gen Stats at 43.3% of the time. That's a ton. That's a ton. That's just under half of the snaps in the game. I mean, if the Patriots can get after it, get after him, they're going to be in a good spot here. Bottle up that run, force him to pass, get some pass pressure. The Patriots secondary is really good. Love Gonzo, Marcus Jones, nice little second corner to have back there. So we'll see what happens. Offense, third down conversion rate. The Chargers convert on offense at 45%. That's really good, man. They stay on the field. So that's going to be another key matchup here. Can the Patriots get off the field on third down on defense? It's going to be huge. Chargers convert. That's one of the best in the league at 45.8%. Their defense is great on defense on third downs. 35.2 conversion percent, which is one of the best in the leagues. So this team is one of the best teams on third down, offensively and defensively. And that always plays an important part of the game. For stamina down the stretch, just getting off the field, getting your team the ball. I mean, you're keeping the other offense off the field, which keeps them from scoring points. I mean, third down's huge. So That's probably going to be one of the most key factors in the game. They're 20th in total points, 12th in total yards, 12th in rushing yards, 15 in passing yards. Um, they score 20 points a game and they give up 20 points a game. So I give up they average 21 and a half points per game. Sorry, they give up 20 on defense. They average 21 and a half. So they're pretty evenly based, man. So we'll see what happens there. Patriots. Patriots have the highest completion percentage of the league. And the key part about that is Drake May's only pressured 21% of the time. I mean, that is a huge drop off compared to Herbert. That's huge. And they're getting healthier on the offensive line. Campbell just came back last week, so their first round pick this past year, who's been great for them on the left side of all the sides. That's huge. They got their left tackle, left guard locked up for the next few years. So um, that's huge, man. Offense converts at 42% on third down, and the defense is at 38. So a little bit under what the Chargers do, but and closer to the league average. But you know that could be the key to the game right there. The third down conversions. Can the Patriots convert and out-convert the Chargers on third down and keep their offense off the field? That's it. That's what it's going to come down to. So, Patriots second in total points, third in total yards, sixth in rushing yards, fourth in passing yards, only giving up 18.8 yards per game, and they average 26.6 on offense. Now, you have to consider the schedule. The schedule was a cupcake. I mean, I know it's the NFL, and technically there's no cupcakes in the NFL, but really, did you watch the Jets this year? They were horrendous. Did you see the Bengals without Joe Burrow? They were horrendous. Their defense was horrendous, at least. I mean, the Browns stink. I mean, some of the Raiders stink. I mean, like, it's just, it plays a factor. And the Chargers had a lot more difficult schedule than the Patriots did, just playing in the division alone. I mean, Chiefs, Broncos. I mean, Raiders are a cupcake, but Patriots had the Jets. The Broncos are better than the Bills. The Chargers are better than the Chiefs. I mean, the Dolphins. The Chiefs are better than the Jets. Like, hey, it's a tough. It's seriously. It plays in to these stats here for the Patriots. They're definitely boosted a little bit. So if you figure you bring some of those down, right? Bring them down. You bring down the offense total of 26 points. 18 points is probably going to go up a little bit, right? Playing against the better team. So we'll see what happens. I think this is the most evenly matched game on the card. And that's why the NFL put it on Sunday night. So that's going to be the best game of the weekend by far. I gave you the Patriots yesterday. Would I be shocked if they lost? No. Would I be upset if they lost? No. We had 4 wins last year. I was talking to a bunch of people, and we all said the same thing. Let's play some meaningful football in December. Let's get 7, 8 wins this year, 9 wins. Let's just figure out if we have a quarterback. Check that box. Got the quarterback, got the coach. We're set. Like, we are set. Drake May's not Mac Jones. He's not. Mac Jones had a great rookie season with Josh McDaniel. He's not nearly as talented as Drake May is. So, see how it happens. See what happens that weekend. Next game, this weekend coming up. Next game, Panthers versus the Rams. Wow. Another a rematch from this past year, this past season. It was week 12, 13. Panthers won 31-28. It was an ugly, rainy day. Stafford threw a pick 6, which is obviously the difference in the game, and they had a fumble. The key fumble on their side of the field that led to points for the Panthers. So that's a 14-point swing right there. I think that plays a huge role this time. I don't think Stafford's going to throw a pick 6. I don't think they're going to fumble inside their 20 again. I think they're going to come a lot more prepared. They probably went into the game thinking that they were going to roll these guys, and they didn't. They got smacked right in the first half, right upside the face, and no, credit to the Panthers. They held them off, and they grabbed the dub. So, but much different this time around. I think the Rams roll them. They roll them. I think this is the blowout of the weekend. I think, but honestly, both teams are stumbling into the playoffs. Rams lost 2 out of the last 3. Panthers lost their last 4. If you were giving me a team to bounce back, taking the Rams. Taking the Rams. I don't know how far they're going to go in the playoffs, but they're definitely going to win this game, without a doubt. They convert on 39% of their third down rates on offense. They average 126 yards per game. They average 276 passing yards per game. They're first in total offense, first in passing, seventh in rushing. I mean, their offense is elite. There's no doubt about it. I mean, Matthew Stafford's a stud. There's a reason why he's in the MVP conversation. Puka Nakua is an absolute animal. You can throw that guy the ball anywhere, three defenders around. He's going to come down with it. I mean, his hands are unbelievable. Unbelievable. Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, good 1-2 punch. They got Parkinson's as a tight end, and the other tight end there. Can't think of his name off the top of my head, but they have a loaded offense. Defense ranks 17th. They give up 110 yards per game, which is 12th in the NFL, and they give up 234 yards passing per game, which is 19th in the NFL. And that's where this game is going to be keyed in. Panthers aren't going to be able to pass the ball. They aren't going to be past the ball. They rank on offense. They rank 26th in the NFL in passing and 194 yards. Now their rushing is better. 19th in the NFL at 116, but not much better. I think the Rams roll here. Don't think it's going to be close. Panthers, nice story, right? Nobody expected them to win the NFC South. No, they weren't. Bryce Young, people didn't know what to make of him. So, see what happens this weekend. But honestly, I really think the Rams going to absolutely destroy the Panthers. Next game, Packers versus Bears. Classic divisional matchup. Round 3 in the playoffs. Packers won the first matchup 28-21. Bears won the second matchup 22-16 in overtime. And this was the game Jordan Love got knocked out with a concussion, and Malik Willis came in and looked like Tom Brady 2.0. I'm nervous about the Bears, man. I love to see a good story in the NFL. But man, their defense is a problem. Defense is a problem. Their offense is great. They're 6th in total offense, averaging 369 yards per game. 10th in passing offense, averaging 225 yards per game. 3rd in rushing offense, averaging 144 yards per game. Great numbers. Their run game is legit with Manungai and DeAndre Swift back there. Great 1-2 punch. Luther Burden's coming in hot down the stretch here. The little rookie from Missouri. Love that guy at Missouri who was great. Nice, big, quick target for Williams to throw the ball up to. Costin Loveland's starting to figure it out down the stretch here. DJ Moore. So they got a great offense. And plus, Caleb Williams. I like Caleb Williams. I think he's made a huge jump this year. They convert on 42% of their third downs. So on offense. So, defense. The complete opposite story. They rank 29th overall. They give up 361 yards per game, which is almost just as many yards that they put up on offense. They rank 22nd in passing defense at 227 yards per game, and 27th in rush defense at 134 yards per game, which is where Josh Jacobs is going to come into this game. I think the Packers might be able to pull this off here on the road. I know Jordan Love's been out the last few weeks. They rested most of their roster last week, so they should be fresh. Bears, man, that was really glaring there. Those first 3 quarters, but I'll tell you what, they got the magic, man. They got the magic. That team doesn't give up. They don't quit. They're always in the game. Always. They never give up. So a lot of credit to Josh Johnson there. Or Ben Johnson, sorry, for getting his boys geared up and staying locked in all 4 quarters. So, see what happens. Defense is atrocious. Opponents, they give up 24 points per game and they score 25 points per game. So, see what the Bears do this weekend against the Packers. Packers, on the other hand, they rank 15th in total offense, 332 yards per game, 17th in passing offense at 212 per game, and they're 15th in the rush and 119 yards per game. So I think that's where the advantage is going to come in with Josh Jacobs there and throwing Wilson every once in a while, maybe on a goal line, give Jacobs a break. But Um, their defense ranks 12th overall and gives up 311 yards per game, 11th in the pass, giving up 194, and they rank 18th in the rush, giving up a 117. Really think the advantage here is for the Packers against that run defense. I know the Bears' offense is really really good, but the Packers' defense has been great. Now we'll see how much Micah Parsons being missed impacted that passing defense there. I mean, 11th overall against the pass is really good, but Micah Parsons played a huge role in that in the last few weeks. We saw when he wasn't on the field, they weren't able to get to the quarterback as often. So that's going to play a huge factor into this. I lean the Packers. Um, Game 3, they probably should have swept them. The fact that they didn't sweep the Bears, I think, kind of goes in their advantage a little bit. So, yeah, give me the Packers. I'm going to take the Packers on this one. They have a great third down conversion rate on offense at 48%, and defense 39% conversion rate on third down. They give up 21 points per game and average 23. So, give me the Pack, baby. Go Pack, go. Next game, Bears versus the Jags. Bills versus the Jags. I love the Jags in this game, man. I think the Bills are done. I think they're undisciplined. I think McDermott, his teams have always been undisciplined. Key penalties at key times, just always costing them. I know the Patriots, God, one of the Patriots games, they had 12 penalties for over 100 yards. I mean, you're not going to win games like that. You shouldn't win. You may be bad teams like that, but you ain't going to be playoff teams like that. It's just not going to happen. And Josh Allen has a tendency to kind of throw the ball in trouble. Hasn't had any interceptions in December. Jaguars rank second in defense on turnovers with 31. Could play a huge role today and this weekend. We'll see how it plays out. Their defense is really good. They rank 11th overall, giving up 303 yards per game. They're 21st against the pass at 218 yards per game. But here's the key thing. They are first against the run, giving up 85 yards per game, which is interesting because the Bills offensively are first in the league, averaging 156 yards per game, almost double what the Jags give up. So that's going to play a huge part in this game. If the Bills can run the ball, they can win the game. If they can't run the ball, they're going to be in trouble. They will be in trouble. Now, they will be able to pass a little bit on the Jags, but that's what this game truly comes down to. Can the Bills run the ball? I think and here's another key thing. The Bills defense ranks first against the pass. And that's where the strength of the Jags offense is. They rank 12th, averaging 222 yards per game. Bills defense only gives up 156. So this is actually a really, really great matchup. This is gonna be a really, really good game. I'm pulling for the Jags. I hope the Jags wins because the Bills are a division rival. Deep down, I would like to see the Bills win a Super Bowl. You feel for them, man. Those fans are so passionate. And they just get so into the games. The tailgating scene's awesome. Crashing the tables is pretty sick. And I'm pumped to see their new stadium for next year. It looks really dope. So, yeah, this game's going to be a lot of fun. Jags give up 19.8 points per game and average 26. The Bills give up 21 and average 27. This is like all statistics lead to like a nice flat push, close, muck it up, dog pound game. I love this game. That one's going to be a good one. Next game, Niners-Eagles. This is blowout number 2. Honestly, maybe not a blowout, but give me the Eagles, man. I think the Eagles are going to punch these guys in the face. Niners offense has been really good so far this season, ranked 7th overall, averaging 351 yards per game. Passing offense ranks 5th, 244 yards per game, and their rushing offense ranks 24th at 106 yards per game. And the Eagles, Eagles aren't ranked too high in much of anything. The defense ranks 13th overall, middle of the pack, giving up 314 yards per game. The passing defense is 8th overall, giving up 189, and the rushing defense is 22nd overall, giving up 124 per game. So, um, defensively is obviously their strength. Offensively, it's been a struggle this year for the Eagles. They're ranked 24th overall, giving up 311 yards per game. Passing offense has been struggling this year at 194 yards per game. And their rushing offense, man, down from years in the past, only averaging 116. Saquon was not Saquon that he was last year. Still pretty good. Seemed like he was coming around there down the stretch. Um, Maybe heating up, getting those guys going a little bit. Obviously, they all took week 17 off, so they should be rested, should be ready to go. Niners had a brutal loss. All right, we saw this with the Vikings last year, where they had a chance to get to the 1 seed. In the last week of the playoffs, they lost to the Lions. Lions get the 1 seed. They end up going one and done, but so don't the Vikings. And I think you're going to see something similar here with the Niners. I think they're just too banged up on the offense and on the defense. I think the Eagles are just going to be way too good for them. Way healthier. The passing offense for the Niners ranks 5th at 244. Offense ranks 24th. Rushing offense ranks 24th. So it's really going to make them one-dimensional. I think the Eagles' secondary is really good. The passing defense ranks 8th. So, yeah, I think the Eagles' secondary is really good. You're going to make them one-dimensional, force them to pass, and I think the Eagles are going to be all over it. So, give me the Eagles there. I like the Eagles. Last game. Wow, last game. We have the Texans versus the Steelers. I was quoted yesterday saying that Steelers are the only team that can't get out of the AFC. They can't. I don't think they're going to win this game. I think Stroud stinks. I'm not a big Stroud guy. I hate Houston's offense. I shouldn't say I hate Houston's offense. I don't like Stroud. I don't think he's good. I think he had a great rookie season, got really overhyped after that, and really just hasn't lived up to the hype. But I think Texans win this game. And obviously, the reason being their defense. Defense is elite. It's first overall, averaging 277 yards per game. Passing defense is 6th overall, giving up 183. Rushing defense is 4th overall, giving up 93 yards per game. And the Steelers I don't think they're going to be able to compete. Passing offense ranks 22nd. Rushing offense ranks 26th. Get only 103 yards per game. I just think this is a recipe for disaster for them. They're just going to absolutely blow up Aaron Rodgers all night. Just keep getting after him. And then on top of that, I know the Steelers kind of been banged up defensively, but they're ranked 26th overall in defense. Passing defense is 29th. And the Texans have some good wide receivers, man. I like Higgins, the rookie out of Iowa State, and the other kid from Iowa State. I forget his name off the top of my head right now. And I absolutely love Nico Collins. I think Schultz is a great tight end. So I think they got some pieces there. They're just really missing the quarterback. Obviously, they're not going to dump Stroud and just move on because there's a lot worse quarterbacks out there than Stroud. But I don't think he's a guy that's going to go in there and win for you. So, yeah, I think this game's actually going to be pretty boring. I don't expect a lot of points to be scored. I could see it being like a 17-3 game, 14-3 game, maybe even a shutout for the Texans. But we'll see what happens. Steelers are really going to have to do what they did last week against the Ravens, just dink and dunk to Gainwell and Warren. I know you're going to get Metcalf to take off the top. He's going to be doubled. You're not going to get the ball to him. That pass rush is going to be all up in your face in 2 seconds. So they're going to have to dink and dunk their way out of this game if they have a chance to win. And that's what they're going to have to do. So we'll see how this weekend plays out. Gave you my picks, broke down the game. Super excited. Playoff football, baby. It's here. Playoff football is back. Is back. And while we're still on football here, let's get into the MVP voting. Now, right off the rip, I'm going to give you my vote. Stafford. I think you got to go Matthew Stafford here. If we're doing a comparison, Stafford had 2,700 yards passing. May had 4,300 yards passing. Stafford had 46 touchdowns. And here's the biggest debate here. He had 46 touchdowns. 15 of them were at the 1 yard line, which still gives, I think it's the same amount of passing touchdowns now. Anyways, doesn't matter. And people are saying that's easy. It's not easy. It's not easy. That's crazy. The closer you get into the end zone, the harder it is to pass the ball. Like, that's crazy. It's going to be a quick one-step drop. It's going to be a corner fade, quick out route. Like, you got to get rid of that ball in 2 seconds because you don't have time. And then on top of that, you don't have the space for guys to move around, right? They can't keep going further down the field like they could. They can't run all the way down and run all the way back, right? Their defender's always going to be within 2-3 yards of them. That's the difference. And when you throw the ball on the goal line, it's 2-3 yards, and you got to fit it into that space. It's a lot harder to do. So to me, that's really impressive. He had 8 picks. They both had 8 picks. Stafford had a 71 QBR. May had a 77.2. Stafford had a 71 completion percentage. May had a 72 completion percentage. Thought it was 70. Oh, it's 70. 72 completion percentage. He also had 450 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. So that's huge. But if we're looking at total yardage and altogether, that puts him just past Stafford. Stafford didn't have any rushing yards, any rushing touchdowns. But I think you have to consider the quality of opponent in the MVP, right? That has to play a key factor. That has to play a key factor. Who you play and what you do when you play them is huge, right? The NFC West was absolutely brutal this year. The Rams had one of the they're one of the best. They had one of the hardest schedules this year in the NFL, and they're one of the first teams, and since 2004 to have that hard of a rated schedule and still make the playoffs. Or on the other end, the Patriots had one of the easiest schedules since St. Louis Rams did in 1999. Now that team went on and won the Super Bowl. But they had one of the easiest schedules since 1999. I mean, maybe May should have thrown for 5,000 yards then 5,200 yards and 56 touchdowns then if that's the case, right? I mean, yeah, I think you have to consider the quality of the opponent and the schedule. It has to play a huge factor in this. Now, on the other end, right, I rattled off what Stafford has earlier. Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, Parkinson, Ferguson. There's my guy, Devontae Adams. I mean, they got some really good weapons on that side of the ball. Now, I don't know who their backup quarterback is, but that could play a huge factor in MVP voting, which is Jimmy Garoppolo, right? If I were to take Matthew Stafford out of that offense and put in Jimmy Garoppolo, how worse off would the Rams be? They had, 12 wins? I'd give them 10. 9 wins. Honestly. 9, 10 wins. Now, you take out Drake May, right? And you put in Josh Dobbs. Now, let's rattle off Drake May's offensive weapons. Matt Collins, Stephon Diggs, Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson, Hunter Henry. I mean, come on. The wide receiver core for the Rams is way better. The running back room is better with Williams and Corum. You take Josh Dobbs and you put him in the Patriots offense, they don't have more than 4 wins. They don't have more than 4 wins. I give them 4 because you play the Jets twice. That gets you 2. So that's something that really has to be considered. I think it's pretty close. I lean Stafford. I would give my vote to Stafford right now. But I think what I just said with removing those guys out and putting the backup quarterbacks in, who's more valuable? The Rams are still playing meaningful football going into December. Patriots are locking up a top 5 draft pick going into December. think it's going to play a key role there. So now, how are the writers going to vote? They're going to vote for Stafford, right? Guy's never won an MVP before. Drake May's young, second year in the league. He's going to probably be up for the award at least one more time at some point in his career over the next, call it 18 years. So we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of, quarterbacks, and we got two quarterbacks in the NFL that kind of made some news yesterday. One was really funny. The other one's kind of just, shot in the dark. We'll see what happens. I feel like this guy's name comes up all the time. Every offseason, is he serious about football? Can you win with him? He's got a lot of talent, but he doesn't focus and watch film. And Kyler Murray. Obviously the Cardinals fired Jonathan Gannon. They got Murray locked up to a long contract. Do they trade him? There's teams out there that need a quarterback that have a lot of talent. Miami Dolphins is one of them. Do you trade him to the Dolphins? No, I don't think so. But Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons are looking for a QB. That could be a great spot. They're not looking for a QB. They've got Penix. They probably won't make a trade. But, Kyler Murray could be on the move. And then the other one, Tua, man. Tua and McDaniels, I think that combo ran its course this year. Obviously, McDaniel benched Tua in the last 3 games of the regular season. Probably to see what Quinn Ewers had. Gonna be honest, didn't really pay attention much to Quinn Ewers when he played, so I really don't know how he did. But when he was asked yesterday by reporters if he was looking for a fresh start and to move on, he said it would be dope. Like, he would be open to it. He's ready for a fresh start. He's ready to move on. And then on top of that, McDaniel with the press yesterday said there will be a quarterback battle for the starting job next season. Who it is has yet to be determined. So Tua is out the door. Now, I don't know where he's going to land. There could be some teams here that he could fit perfect in. I know I brought up one of them, which I think is the Atlanta Falcons. I think him and the Falcons, maybe they trade Penix, maybe they trade Cousins, who knows? But some teams that Tua could be good on right here. How about the Cleveland Browns? They're a quarterback away, right? The defense is the top 5 defense in the league. Harold Fannin Jr. is a dog. Jerry Jeudy's pretty good. I don't know if Jeudy was at Alabama the same time Tua was, but they probably overlapped at some point there. So that could be a spot for him. It's Colts. Colts need a quarterback. They were 8-1 with Daniel Jones. Tua is better than Daniel Jones, I think. You got Pierce, you got Downs, you got Taylor. You got Warren. Great team to go there. Could go to the Colts. Who else needs a quarterback? The Jets? Ain't gonna go to the Jets, that's for sure. Ain't gonna go to the Jets. How about the Steelers? Steelers are gonna need a quarterback after this year if Aaron Rodgers goes. They need a younger quarterback anyways. Maybe you get Tua. He has 3 years, 4 years left on his contract? 3 years, you draft the guy, and then you see where you're at the end of his contract. Try and get the other teams to try and get the Dolphins to pick up most of the salary. See what happens. So yeah, interesting. I thought it was just absolutely hilarious that he was like, yeah, it'd be dope. I'd love to get out of Miami. But little does he know, he's 0-12 when it's 30 degrees or colder out. He ain't going anywhere up north. He's going to go out west or stay south. He ain't going to the Jets or anywhere north, New England, Denver. Obviously they wouldn't go. Cleveland. I just said Cleveland. What happens if it lands in Cleveland? Man, that weather there is crazy. You got the lake effect coming off. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Should be interesting. Probably won't hear anything until the end of the season when the playoffs are over. So, and last topic for today, college basketball slate tonight. We got 2, 4, 6. We got One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, and 10 top 25 teams. Michigan versus Penn State. Duke versus Louisville, which is going to be a great game. Georgia versus Florida. Iowa versus Minnesota. UCF versus OK State. Texas Tech versus Houston. Texas versus Tennessee. And TCU versus Kansas. Michigan has been absolutely rolling. Them in Arizona look like the clear cut favorites to be the favorites to win. Sorry, I just repeated myself. The favorites to win the college basketball. Let's look up the futures right now. Quick. Team futures: Michigan and Arizona. Michigan plus 340, Arizona plus 850. So Michigan has just been steamrolling through everybody this year. So Penn State, watched them play one game. They played against my Friars. They beat us. No, we beat them. Sorry. Young team. They got a 5-star point guard there that seems to be pretty promising, but I think that team overall is just way too young this year. They're probably going to be a punching bag, but look for that team, 2-3 years down the line from now could be something. Duke versus Louisville, another big game. Louisville coming off that huge loss at Stanford, man. Some of these teams, when they got to travel out west, it's a lot for these college kids to travel out on a Friday night, get there for Saturday, play the game. I mean, so we'll see. We'll see what happens that game. That's going to be a close one. Duke coming off a tough performance against Florida State, had the battle back in that one. Was down most. I think was down at halftime most of the first half, and about I want to say 12 minutes left in the second half, they kind of got the game under control and took the lead. But yeah, that's going to be the premier game tonight. Duke versus Louisville should be a really fun one. Georgia versus Florida. Georgia really kind of turned the corner last year. Had a pretty good season. Can't remember if they got in the tournament or not. I feel like they did and was close to like a 10-11 seed. And they're just building off that year, man. They look pretty good. And for them, huge road test early on. Headed to Florida, reigning national champs. Now, Florida has had a really hard schedule. They're 9-5 overall. Not really where you kind of expect them to be. But, they're still Florida. They're still talented. Still going to be a tournament team. Still going to be in contention for the SEC there championship. So, but yeah, great test for Georgia. See what they have. Little rivalry game. So, should be fun. Next game, Iowa versus Minnesota. I gotta tell you, I don't know much about these two teams. I know Iowa is 20th in the country, something like that. Minnesota, couldn't really tell you much about them. All I know is that it's a 5.5 point spread. So another game there, UCF versus OK State. Oklahoma State's coming off a loss against somebody, I can't remember who. And then UCF, obviously, having a great year. They're 12-1, 13-1. Coming off a huge win at home against Kansas, right? People were like, that was their test Saturday. They were, 11-1, 12-1 going into that game. And that was like, are they legit? That was the game to make them legit. They seemed to be legit. So that win got them in the top 25. Another great game. Texas Tech versus Houston. Should be a great one. Line was 5.5. Then it moved back up to 6.5, which is weird because I would think Texas Tech would be getting the money there. But obviously two elite teams. You got Houston, who lost in the finals last year, and Texas Tech, who made the Elite Eight last year. Another great game. Big 12 matchup. Be tuning into that one. And then Texas versus Tennessee. Tennessee, obviously, had a little rough patch there. It seems like they got it back together. Texas, Sean Miller's first year at the Longhorns. They've been dying to be good at basketball again. So it seems like year one has been pretty positive for Sean Miller so far. Year two is where he really excels. So we'll see how that game goes tonight. But I look for Texas in the future to be at least a tournament team consistently every single season with Sean Miller. And then TCU and Kansas, man. The last few seasons, I cannot peg Kansas. I know Bill Self has had some serious health issues over the last few seasons. Could be impacting the way he's been coaching the games, obviously. I just can't make they seem like they're just loaded with talent. They have a top 10 recruiting class year over year, and they just don't put it together for some reason. We'll see what happens with that game tonight. They're coming off a loss against Central Florida, which I just talked about, and then TCU, man. I don't know what to make of them. They had one bad loss, and then they had that preseason tournament where they beat Wisconsin. They beat Florida, and then they beat Wisconsin. And I only know that because my Friars were in that preseason tournament. I lost to Wisconsin, got crushed by Florida. But anyways, yeah, TCU, it seems like they're coming along too. Jamie Dixon's been a great coach. He was great in Pittsburgh for all those seasons. I had season tickets at the Friars, saw him coming in with a bunch of good teams at Pitt, especially that year. They had DeJuan Blair and Adams. They were loaded that year. So, yeah, good coach. Seems like he's putting TCU back on the map. And yeah, show 2, episode 2, DSN, Duffy Sports Network. It's over. That's all I got for you today. Got any comments? Drop the comments in there. I'll get to them if I can. And, hopefully get one of you tonight. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Talk to you.